Well, just park the panel there for a moment because I want to bring in Richard Ralphsmith from our Melbourne studio. Richard's been a familiar face on this program over the years, and Richard's the founder and creative director from DPR&Co. And Richard, you've looked very closely at that sort of parallel universe thing where the boardrooms and the C-suite, the chief executive suites, they seem to be out of kilter with what people are feeling. In the marketplace right now, people are rightly nervous. They're not sure where some of the cost structures are going to go, and yet business thinks things are going really, really well.
Yeah, that's very much the case, Gary, and the data is out at the moment. It's quite surprising what we're seeing. Westpac does its consumer sentiment survey every month, and consumer sentiment dropped 7 points in the month of August, and it's now at its lowest level for 2 years. Now, so that's one thing. But what's really interesting is that at the same time, the business confidence index has risen 7 points. So it's unusual for the two to even diverge. But at the moment, they're at the furthest apart that they've been since these records have been taken. So there is a real disconnect going on there. There's a real sense that the voices of consumers are being muffled in corporate boardrooms, and that there is that sense of parallel universe between big business and ordinary consumers.
So consumer sentiment is a lead indicator, but business sentiment probably is what, a lag indicator? Is that basically how it works?
Well, I think that there's a couple of reasons why business sentiment is still holding up. One big one is that sales are still strong, profits are still strong, right? So profits and sales are lag indicators of business performance. So I think that's what business is responding to, the fact that things are still holding up. But consumer sentiment is a lead indicator of where businesses are going to be performing. So the fact that they're not seeing the warning signs at that level are a little bit concerning. But I think, Gary, that perhaps the bigger story here is this idea that what I'd call the sort of big stakeholder mentality of business at the moment. So the non-customer stakeholders that businesses are these days steering their corporate governance towards. So things like environmental, social and governance things. These are the things that are driving business decisions and board decisions, and the consumer's voice is getting a little bit lost in that. And so we're beginning to see among the conversations with board members that I have, we're just beginning to see this almost of a cartel sense between government and business, where that's who they're trying to placate and please much more so than their customers at the moment. And this is a bit of a concerning trend and a bit of an elitism that seems to be creeping in.